All right, let's get right into it. We usually think of electricity flowing through a wire kind of like water through a pipe. It just fills the whole thing up, right? Well, it turns out that's not always the case. Today, we're talking about one of the weirdest phenomena in all of electronics, the skin effect. It's this bizarre situation where electricity gets, I don't know, a little bit shy and actually avoids the very center of the wire it's traveling through.
And yeah, it's a great question because it just seems to defy all logic. I mean, if you've got this perfectly good conductor, this whole path to use, why in the world would the current bunch up only on the outside? It's kind of like if every single car on a 3-lane highway decided to drive only in the shoulder lanes, leaving the main road totally empty. So, this is the core mystery we're going to unpack today.
So here's the official definition, but let's break it down. The two most important words here are alternating current, AC. See, this whole thing doesn't really happen with the steady, one-way flow of direct current, or DC. But with AC, the current is constantly flipping direction, and all that back-and-forth action creates these swirling magnetic fields inside the wire itself. And those fields literally push the current outwards, towards the surface, or the skin. And the difference is, well, it's pretty dramatic. On the left, you see how DC electricity just uses the entire conductor nice and evenly distributed. But on the right, with AC, look at that. The current is all jammed into this thin layer right near the surface. The center of the wire is basically a ghost town, carrying almost no current at all. It's a total traffic jam on the very edge of the road, while there's a wide open highway right down the middle. Now you might be thinking, okay, weird, but so what? Well, when we're talking about transmitting massive, and I mean massive, amounts of power across entire countries, this little quirk suddenly becomes a huge problem. In the world of our 50 or 60 hertz power grid, the skin effect is a real villain. So let's look at the charges against our villain here. First off, by forcing all that current into a much smaller area, the skin effect essentially makes the wire's resistance go up. And more resistance means more of your energy is just lost as heat, bleeding off into the air. That's wasted power that never gets to your house, which of course hurts the grid's efficiency and costs a ton of money. It's really this cascade of problems, and it all stems from electricity not using the whole wire.
And this right here is the fundamental reason why. This little formula, I squared R, basically tells us that the power you lose is directly tied to resistance. So when the skin effect jacks up the effective resistance, that's the R in the equation, the power lost as heat just skyrockets. Energy companies spend billions of dollars trying to minimize this exact loss, and the skin effect is right there, working against them every step of the way. This whole thing creates a massive practical headache for engineers. I mean, think about it. They're paying for these thick, heavy, expensive copper or aluminum cables, but because of the skin effect, only the outer layer is actually doing any of the work. All that precious, costly metal in the middle is just dead weight. It's like buying a 5-bedroom house, but then finding out you're only allowed to live in the hall.
So, it seems like an open and shut case, doesn't it? The skin effect is just a wasteful, inefficient problem that we have to deal with. But, and this is where the story gets really interesting, what if this villain, under just the right circumstances, wasn't a villain at all? What if this flaw was actually a feature? So let's switch gears. Let's leave the world of the low-frequency power grid and jump into the high-frequency realm of things like radio, Wi-Fi, and all our modern electronics. Because here in this world, the skin effect has a total personality change. It goes from being a bumbling villain to a seriously sophisticated hero. And just like that, the list of disadvantages completely flips into a list of advantages. That weird tendency to keep current only on the surface, well, that turns into an amazing form of natural shielding. The fact that the center of the wire is totally unused, that opens the door for all sorts of lighter, cheaper, more efficient designs. Let me show you how. So here's the key. At really high frequencies, the skin effect becomes so strong that the current is basically trapped almost entirely on the surface of a conductor. And this is incredibly useful. It means a signal that's traveling inside a coaxial cable, like the one plugged into your Wi-Fi router, it stays inside the cable. It can't leak out and interfere with other signals, and other signals can't get in to mess it up. The skin effect creates a perfect shield, basically for free. So once engineers figured this out, they stopped fighting the skin effect, and they started designing with it. They took this fundamental principle of physics, and they turned it from a problem they had to solve into a tool they could actually use. And the perfect example of this is the ACSR cable. This is the kind you see strung up on those massive transmission towers. The engineers knew the current was only going to use the skin anyway. So they said, okay, let's make the core out of strong, cheap steel to handle the weight and the tension. Then they just wrapped it in a skin of lightweight, really conductive aluminum. The steel provides all the strength and the aluminum carries all the power. It's this beautiful, elegant design that only works because of the skin effect. And here's another clever trick. For high-frequency stuff, if the current isn't going to use the middle of the wire, why even put metal there in the first place? So engineers just started using hollow tubes. This saves a massive amount of material, which saves weights and, of course, saves a lot of money, all without sacrificing any performance whatsoever. It's the ultimate example of working with physics instead of trying to fight it. So as we start to wrap this up, it becomes pretty clear that the skin effect isn't inherently good or bad. It's just a perfect example of how a single physical phenomenon can be two completely different things, depending entirely on the context. Let's just break it down one last time. At the low frequencies of our power grid, yeah, the skin effect is a problem. It increases resistance, it wastes energy, and it forces us to come up with these clever, costly conductors to deal with it. But at the high frequencies that run our communication systems, it's a huge opportunity. It gives us free shielding and lets us build smarter, lighter, and cheaper components. It's a villain and a hero, all wrapped up in one. And that kind of leaves us with a fascinating final thought. The story of the skin effect is this powerful reminder that in science and in engineering, one person's problem is very often another person's solution. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other so-called flaws or bugs in the physical world are just sitting there, waiting for the right perspective to become the next brilliant feature?